request you to stay on with us as we're tracking some other rather crucial updates at this time near Israel's northern border with Lebanon. We're now learning that in southern Lebanon, an Israeli airstrike has killed 4 people, wounded 3 others. This information according to Lebanon's health ministry. The strike hit a car in Kfar Roummane in the Targettted district. Israeli military sources have indicated that the drone strike targeted a member of Hezbollah's elite Radwan force. The incident comes nearly a year after a ceasefire was declared between Israel and Lebanon, ending months of cross-border firing. But despite that truce, cross-border strikes are taking place. The main bone of contention over here is, of course, Hezbollah's refusal to disarm. Meanwhile, Hezbollah is under pressure from both within Lebanon and from the United States in order to disarm, but it has remained rather resolute on its stance. Still with us on the broadcast is Mr. Yossi Cooper. Interestingly, there's a recent statement that has come in from US Special Envoy to Syria, Tom Barak. Washington is rather frustrated with Beirut, especially regarding the lack of headway being made as far as the disarmament of Hezbollah is concerned. We'd seen talks pick up just about 2 months back, but nothing has taken place on the ground. Nothing tangible has happened as far as the disarmament of Hezbollah is concerned. Tom Barak has branded Lebanon as a failed state. To what extent would you concur?
Well, unfortunately, I have to agree with Mr. Barak. It's Mr. Barak. The situation in Lebanon is that the government has endorsed a certain plan to disarm Hezbollah that was presented by the military, but does nothing in order to implement it. And so the plan is just a nice piece of paper, and that's it. And on the ground, Hezbollah keeps regrouping and rearming itself and redeploying forces in southern Lebanon, all in breach of the agreement, the ceasefire agreement, which necessitate Israeli response with action that would prevent Hezbollah from posing again the kind of threat that it posed during the war to Israel. And that's what we see happening. And we, instead of the Lebanese army disarming Hezbollah, we do it ourselves. And that's the purpose of the attack that we carried out. It was an important attack, because the target was the head of the logistic branch of the special forces of Hezbollah, the Radwan force, and they were busy regrouping and rearming and redeploying in the southern part of Lebanon, which is not allowed for them according to the agreement.
Indeed, I wanted to understand from you, we do know that Israel has been successful in snuffing out Hezbollah's top leadership, but still, as you've mentioned, these forces are regrouping, they are still operating. How does this take place? From where do they get the funds to do so?
Of course, everything they have comes from Iran. They are a proxy of Iran, and they are financing all their activities and rearming themselves with the weapons they get from Iran. It's much more difficult for them to do that today compared with the past, when they had Syria under Assad cooperating with this effort. Now this bridge has been broken, but they managed to smuggle weapons, and they managed to bring in funding from Iran through all kinds of ways, and this allows them to still operate and maintain their stubborn approach to the demand of dismantling of disarming.
Indeed, and one last question I wanted to pose to you. We're also now getting to know that Donald Trump will be hosting his Syrian counterpart Ahmed al-Shara tentatively on the 10th of November at the White House. This is, of course, a crucial visit, because this is the first ever visit by a Syrian head of state to the White House. It's also taking place after decades of international isolation of Syria. What are your expectations from this meeting? Because we do know that the US is applying considerable amount of pressure on Syria in order to negotiate a security deal with Israel.
Well, I think that what we expect is that this would lead to some agreement between us and the Syrians with the American auspices, that would make sure that Syria doesn't pose a threat to Israel's security, and that would mean that there are no terror organizations deployed in southern Syria, and no weapons that can threaten Israel are deployed over there, and that also that would mean security for the minorities in Syria, primarily the Druze who were subjects for terrible massacre a couple of months ago.
Yes.
So we want to make sure that they are safe, and if that is going to be the outcome of this visit in the White House of President Shara, then this is going to be a nice achievement and would reflect the fact that Shara wants to see Syria reconstructed, and for that he needs the West and he needs the United States. And the outcome of that should be that the relationships between Israel and Syria are going to be quiet and peaceful.
All right, so with that, I'd like to thank you for taking out time sharing your perspective and analysis with us on NewsX World. With that, viewers, we're shifting focus to what's taken place in Egypt. The Grand Egyptian Museum has officially opened its doors in Giza. This is the largest archaeological museum in the world dedicated to a single civilization. The launch attracts international dignitaries, including German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier and King Philippe of Belgium, as well as Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis. And leaders from Arab countries have also attended the opening, led by Saudi's Culture Minister Prince Badr bin Abdullah, Omani Crown Prince Thayazin, and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi has inaugurated the museum, calling it a new chapter in history. Shafts of light have illuminated the museum and nearby pyramids with drones. The event also saw a musical performance linking Cairo with Tokyo, Paris and New York. The museum spans 490,000 square meters and showcases over 57,000 artifacts featuring treasures of King Tutankhamun across 7,500 square meters. Another major highlight is the 4,600-year-old solar boat of Pharaoh Khufu. The museum's opening was delayed by political turmoil and the pandemic, but it now stands as Egypt's gift to the world, showcasing its ancient civilization. Listen in to remarks made by the Egyptian president.
واليوم ونحن نحتفل معا بافتتاح المتحف المصري الكبير. نكتب فصلا جديدا من تاريخ الحاضر والمستقبل في قضية هذا الوطن العريق.
Well, viewers, with that, it's a wrap on Gulf today. We'll continue to track these